Have you heard of this WaterTok thing? WaterTok is trending right now on TikTok, and it is huge among folks who are trying to get their water intake up, lose weight, and more. But the question is this effective and should you be doing it? Before we get into that though, can we just talk about how TikTok is one of the worst inventions of our lifetime right now? I think it's one of the worst social media platforms out there. It is Chinese spyware. I don't care what anybody says. This thing is dumbing down our society. Did you realize that the Chinese actually have a different version of TikTok called Douyin, and our version, which is TikTok, shows completely different content? They send us the stuff that dumbs Americans down, and the WaterTok challenge is a pure testament of this. If you've never heard of it, listen, you are in good company here, because I only recently heard about this because I don't go on the devil's app over there, but let me go ahead and break it down for you. So basically, you've got these people, mostly women, taking big giant cups of water or gallons of water, and they're adding ice to it, and then these powder drinks along with syrups. And usually there's sugar-free syrups and sugar-free powders. You know, stuff like Crystal Light and even Kool-Aid. Yes, y'all, Kool-Aid. Okay, it's just crazy out there, vigilante in these streets. And they're pumping it up with all this artificial sweeteners, colors, and flavors, and calling it water.
Hello, water of the day. I just finished my skinny butter pecan latte. I'm gonna go with like a colada punch. So I have 2 of the Skittles original punch packets.
And they are die hard about it. You cannot talk to the WaterTok babes, okay, the water girls. You can't tell them nothing because, honey, they are 10 toes down into this. But I know what your question is. If you're over here, you're trying to figure out if this is insane or if it's something that actually works and it's something that you should be doing. You know, we always talk about the science here on my channel, so we're gonna get into that. And I wanna give you my recommendations as a coach and a trainer for over 25 years about what you need to do when it comes to your water intake and if you should be partaking in the WaterTok challenge. Now, before we get into that, I wanna welcome you to the channel. My name is Roxy Beckles. Make sure that you go ahead and you subscribe right now. Hit that bell notification, set it to all so you do not miss a single video, honey. And make sure you hit that thumbs up. Like this video so that way folks can see it, okay? We gotta spread this throughout the YouTube algorithm, all right? Today's video is sponsored by my company, RoxStar Fitness. If you're a woman who is looking to get into the best shape of her life, and you know that fitness must take front center in becoming your best. But not only that, you want to connect with a deeper reason why. Why is this stuff important to you? Why must you never fail at it again? And what do you need to do to make this an actual lifestyle that not only gets results, but keeps it off in the long term? Honey, I want to talk to you. Go ahead and schedule your appointment right down below. 20-minute complimentary clarity call is right up your alley. I am taking on new clients right now in my Inner Circle group coaching program, which is super affordable. And I'm looking to take on at least 10 women in the next couple of weeks to work closely with me. So go ahead and scan the QR code that you see right over here to schedule your free call, or click the link down below. Now, if you're not ready for coaching just yet, that is okay. Get on my free email list. I'll send you all kinds of tips, advice, even free workouts every now and again. To go ahead and take your training to the next level, scan the QR code or click that link down below. And I want to invite you to check out my second channel, Blessed Be Fitness. I talked about the spiritual aspect of fitness, and I believe in the 4 pillars of fitness here on my channel: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual fitness. Now, some of you aren't into that whole thing, so we got another channel where you can dive deep into that spiritual connection to help you to get your body, your mind, and more on the right path. So go ahead and make sure that you subscribe right now. Let's go ahead and get into the story. So before we can talk about whether or not this is effective, let's break down the science of what water is in the body and why it's so important. Men's bodies are comprised of about 60% of water, whereas women's bodies are comprised of about 55% of water, and that has to do with our differences in body fat. Water is responsible for a number of biological processes, including regulating our body temperature, lubricating the joints, transporting nutrients, balancing out sodium levels, the acidity of our blood, and supporting digestion as well. Of course, we know about the benefits of water to our skin, as well as proper cognitive function and organ function as well. Water is important for exercise performance. Dehydration can thwart your efforts whether you are in the gym or if you're trying to work out and complete any kind of a sport. So we already know that water is important. That is a given. You learn that in Health 101. Now, the challenge for a lot of folks is getting in the amount of water that they need per day. The daily requirement in general is about 64 ounces of water per day. Now, if you're someone who works out, you're definitely gonna need a little bit more. You typically hear folks saying that having about a gallon of water a day is typical for those who are into fitness. And I actually do agree with that. For most of my clients, I typically recommend that they take in about 3/4 to 1 full gallon of water per day. And that can be a challenge for anyone. And if you look at what a lot of the folks say who are doing this WaterTok thing, that is their number one complaint, that they want to drink more water, but they find it hard because drinking water gets boring, it's tasteless, they don't like it, they can't do it, it's hard, and all of these mental blocks. So adding a ton of flavors and fake sugar to it makes it a lot easier, right? Okay, maybe not. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit more whether or not the WaterTok thing should be something that you should be doing. The first thing we want to ask, is this water at all? Okay, Google, what is the definition of water?
Here's the definition of water. A colorless, transparent, odorless liquid that forms the seas, lakes, rivers, and rain and is the basis of the fluids of living organisms. It is vital for all known forms of life, despite not providing food energy or organic micronutrients.
The more you know. So, getting down to the definition of what water actually is, it is tasteless, it is odorless, it is colorless. So by putting all of these additives into your water, is it water anymore? By definition, the answer is no. And here's the crazy thing. See, this is the thing about social media and the times we live in today that makes people completely delusional. If you go ahead and you tell these WaterTok people that they're not actually drinking water, that they're drinking a beverage, they lose their absolute shit. They just lose their minds. They go crazy. They want to argue with you when facts are facts. So at the end of the day, this is not really water, it is a beverage. And many beverages, of course, contain water as the first ingredient. But water plus anything else is not water alone, it is a beverage. You know what I equate this to? This is kind of like those folks who drink Diet Coke all day. You know, people who drink diet soda and that's all they drink? Well, yeah, technically speaking, if all you drink is diet soda, even though it is sugar-free and all that other stuff, yes, you are getting in your daily intake of quote unquote liquids or water, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy for you. And that's the thing that we gotta look at, whether or not doing this, adding all of these things, even if you're drinking a gallon of it, what are the health effects? What can it actually do? Is there a detriment in the long term? Let's go ahead and talk about that. When asking whether or not the WaterTok challenge is actually something that's healthy, I think there's a gray area in that. Again, this is just like drinking diet soda all day, every day, and that's all you drink. Yes, you are getting the benefits of being quote unquote hydrated, but the benefits, do they really outweigh the long-term effects down the line? Now, here's what happens when you actually start consuming more sweeteners, artificial sweeteners in your diet. Even to this day, the verdict is still out whether or not artificial sweeteners can lead to cancer. A lot of the research up to now points to the fact that for the most part, they aren't seeing a direct link with cancer and artificial sweeteners. However, there is a more direct link of artificial sweeteners with obesity, which is related to 13 different cancers. So it becomes like more of a cascade of events if you want to consider the health impact of drinking these things on a normal basis. From a health standpoint, for me as a fitness professional and someone who's been an athlete and a dancer her whole life, my biggest concern is the additives in it. Not only do you have the sweeteners, but you have the food coloring in it, minimal nutritional value as well. So to me, it isn't something that I would want to put into my body on a normal basis when I'm trying to be healthier overall. We already have enough additives and more in the food that we eat. So why are we trying to put it into the beverages that we consume on a daily basis? It doesn't make sense. Now, there has been some concerns with a sweetener like aspartame and whether or not that has been linked to cancer. And some studies have shown that there is an increase of breast cancer in women who consume aspartame a lot. So that's one sweetener you might want to consider staying away from. Not all artificial sweeteners are created the same. Some are natural. You have things like stevia, which present a good option for those of you who want to have something that's sweet in your beverages, but has less of a health risk. Now, stevia to me is absolutely disgustingly gross, but if you like it and you can handle it because you are trying to be healthier, I think that it is a good option. Some others might mention monk fruit artificial sweeteners as well. I always say to do your research and see what might work best for you and what your needs are when it comes to your diet and your training. Another thing you might want to consider is this. Artificial sweeteners are 180 to 20,000 times sweeter than regular sugars. And they can potentially alter your taste buds so that way your reaction to sugar isn't the same as it was before this hyperconsumption. And that means that you just begin to crave sweeter and sweeter drinks, foods, and more over time. And as you can probably imagine, for those of you who are on a program to lose weight, change your body, or even maintain your weight, that is not a good thing. Craving those sweets, next thing you know, you're eating a bag of cookies or a whole entire muffin or cake or something like that, just to go ahead and try to get that fix, all while chugging down this WaterTok stuff. So there is always an effect with everything. There's always a trade-off. Is that trade-off worth it in the end for you and your goals? That is the main question. So, you know me. I always give solutions. I cannot just come on here and tell you that something sucks, it's bad, you shouldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. I got to tell you some alternatives to go ahead and put in place in order to maybe have a little bit of your cake and eat it too, or at least do things better. The first thing I want to tell you is that if a celebrity is doing it, if TikTok tells you to do it, please run in the other direction. Child, these are the two worst sources when it comes to fitness, health, diet, nutrition, training, anything like that. If they're telling you to do something, there may be some kind of a catch. It may be something that's horrible for you. It's bad for you. You should just ignore it. It's not for you. And this is one of those things. Now, I will say, as a coach, if I were working with you and you're someone who's really into this WaterTok thing, or you just have a hard time drinking water, I would meet somewhere in the middle. Whereas I would say that it's okay for you to have this kind of thing every once in a while. Maybe you have a small cup of it during the day, but the rest of what you consume is water or other things like tea, for example. Then we can go ahead and have you enjoy it and still do it in moderation. But it's not something that I would say that you should be doing on the normal basis to fulfill your water requirements. It just doesn't work like that. It's just not healthy in the long run. When you're taking on a new program, you really want to establish the habits, the behaviors, the mindset, and the things that you need to do to have a lifestyle that will last you for the rest of your life. So being completely restrictive where you say you can never have this, I think is not the right thing to do. I think that limiting it is definitely a smarter thing, and weaning yourself off of this, if you are addicted to this kind of thing, is the best call to action. Now, another alternative that you can try, which is something that I've done with myself, because when I was competing, there were times I had to drink 2 gallons of water a day. When I have a client going through peak week as competitors, going right into their show in the last couple of days before, we've got to dehydrate them. And the way that we do that is by drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Imagine having to drink 2. How do we do it? I always advise that, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with flavoring your waters. That's why I'm not so shocked about this and how popular it is. But instead of going for the sweeteners and the powders and all that stuff, use fruit. Watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, lemons, limes, whatever it is, make a little concoction and put it together and let it seep in your water. It has such a refreshing flavor. You can also add herbs to it. Mint is perfect for this kind of thing. So being more innovative like that is a lot healthier, and you're getting the benefits of a little bit of vitamins and minerals in the water from the fruit. Another trick that you can try is using tea bags. There are so many different kinds of flavored tea out there on the market right now, from fruity flavors to just wonderful herbal flavors. Putting that into your water, letting it seep without any sweeteners or anything like that is a perfect alternative. Now, if you do want something a little bit sweeter, of course, you can add something like stevia or any kind of plant-based natural sweetener that's calorie-free to your mix. But keep in mind, it's not water anymore. If you do that, it's not water. So again, you can do these things, but there's a way to do things smarter and better. So these are all things that'll help you to get your consumption up. And I really, really do implore for you to use that method versus something that's a little bit more unhealthy in the long run, such as the WaterTok challenge. Listen, y'all need to go ahead and rethink things that you see on this TikTok, okay? Because TikTok is dangerous, but that is my thought. What is your thought? But what are your thoughts? Go ahead and put it below in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Are you doing the WaterTok thing? Go ahead and put it below. Are you here to defend your WaterTok? You're like, nah, Roxy, that's some BS. I do the WaterTok, it's fine. Honey, go ahead and put it down below, but you get curt. I'm gonna get curt with you in the comments, so stay respectful, okay? All right, guys, go ahead and put it down below. And why don't you go ahead and check out this next video over here, because trends on TikTok are ruining women and our self-esteem as well. And I really want you to pay attention to this. Go ahead and watch this next video. I will see you over there.